Eala caps build-up for Australian Open with Kuyang Classic trophy. Eala gets another confidence boost ahead of her main draw debut in the Australian Open, the first Grand Slam of the year. Manila, Philippines. It may have been just an exhibition, but Eala made sure her presence was unmistakable at the Kuyang Classic in Melbourne. On Friday, January 16th, the invitation-only tournament declared Eala as this year's champion, handing her the Yvonne Goolagong-Cawley Trophy, named after the former world number 1 and 7-time Grand Slam champion of Australia. The trophy capped Eala's build-up for her main draw appearance in the Australian Open early next week. "It feels great. I'm super excited," Eala said during the Australian Open pre-event press conference. "You know, coming in as a main draw player gives a different vibe, especially with the struggles I had in the past coming here. So, I'm super excited to come here in full force." Eala is coming into the Grand Slam event with great momentum, winning 4 of her last 5 matches, including one against Paris Olympics silver medalist Donna Vekic in the Kuyang Classic last Wednesday, January 14th. The 20-year-old Filipino's 2026 stretch so far also includes a semi-final run in the ASB Classic in Auckland, New Zealand, where her lone loss came to China's Wang Xinyu in the semi-finals. The event also pushed her to a career-high number 49 world ranking this week, ahead of the first Grand Slam of the year. Eala said matches such as those in Auckland and Melbourne benefited her for the Australian Open, the only Grand Slam event she has yet to debut in the main draw. "It was definitely great for confidence. Getting matches always helps before slams, so I'm confident with how I'm playing. It doesn't mean that matches aren't going to be tough here, so I'm ready for playing here," she said. In the Australian Open's first round, Eala will face American Alicia Parks, who is currently the W'd-ranked number 100 entering the tournament. The 25-year-old Parks reached the third round of the Australian Open in 2024, 5 months after she reached her career-high number 40 ranking in August 2023. The winner will then take on world number 19 Karolina Muchova of the Czech Republic or number 37 Jacqueline Christian of Romania in the second round. With Eala emerging as one of the tournament's marquee attractions, the Filipino sensation is set to draw another wave of flag-waving fans, just as she has in past tournaments. "In this part of the world there are a lot of Filipinos, and the turnout this year has grown significantly, I would say, from the past year," she said. "So, I'm just so happy to see this environment, and people are excited when I'm on court." While she is preparing for the Australian Open, Eala is also penciled to be one of the wild cards in the Philippine Women's Open, the first ever WTA 125 event in the country, from January 26th to 31st. For her, it was a dream realized at last and a tournament she could finally call home. "I'm happy that it's finally coming together. It's really happening. It's a dream to have a home tournament, and just the WTA stage in general. I think it's a huge step for tennis in the Philippines and women's tennis, especially since I know some friends who are going to play there," she said. "I'm so happy that it'll bring a lot of inspiration and a lot of motivation for the girls back home." Rappler.com. Eala caps build-up for the Australian Open with Kuyang Classic trophy. The summer air in Melbourne carries a particular promise. It hums with the sound of tennis balls cracking against strings, with the rhythm of footwork on hard courts, and with the quiet hopes of players who know that January can redefine a career. In this charged atmosphere, Eala arrived not merely as a participant in the Australian summer swing, but as a story in motion. When she lifted the Kuyang Classic trophy, it felt less like a surprise and more like the final brushstroke on a carefully building canvas. Kooyong is not just an exhibition. It is a stage steeped in history, a place where champions have once sharpened their blades before marching into Melbourne Park. For Eala, the tournament became a bridge between preparation and belief. Each match was a rehearsal, each rally a sentence in a narrative she has been writing since her early days as a prodigy from the Philippines with a left-handed swing and an uncommon calm. Her build-up to the Australian Open had been deliberate. Training sessions were purposeful rather than punishing, focused on clarity rather than chaos. There was an emphasis on patterns, on patience, on understanding when to press forward and when to absorb pressure. At Kuyang, those lessons surfaced in real time. Eala played with a balance that suggested growth, not just in power or speed, but in judgment. She trusted her game, and in doing so, invited opponents to test it. What stood out most was not a single forehand winner or a perfectly disguised drop shot, but the way she handled moments. Tennis is a sport of pauses as much as motion, and Eala used those pauses well. Between points, she reset. Under pressure, she simplified. The trophy did not come from brilliance alone, but from restraint, from choosing the higher percentage play when the temptation to do more was strong. Kooyong also offered something less tangible but equally important: affirmation. Exhibition titles do not count toward rankings, yet they count toward confidence. Lifting the trophy was a symbolic act, a confirmation that her off-season work had meaning. It was a reminder that she belonged on these courts, among these players, in this conversation. For Filipino tennis fans, the moment carried extra resonance. Eala has long represented more than herself. She carries expectations, hopes, and the quiet pride of a nation still carving its place in the global tennis landscape. At Kuyang, she did not play burdened by that weight. Instead, she seemed buoyed by it, moving freely, smiling easily, and embracing the attention without being consumed by it. As the Australian Open loomed, the Kuyang Classic trophy became both a reward and a responsibility. Success can be a mirror. It reflects what is working and challenges a player to repeat it when the stakes are real. Eala understood this. There was no sense of arrival, only momentum. The celebration was brief, the focus quickly shifting forward. Heading into Melbourne Park, she carried with her the memory of clean ball striking under the sun, of managing nerves in front of a crowd, of finishing what she started. These are small things on paper, but they accumulate. In a Grand Slam, where matches stretch and pressure multiplies, such experiences can become anchors. Eala's build-up to the Australian Open, capped by the Kuyang Classic trophy, was not about declaring herself a favorite or making bold predictions. It was about readiness. About stepping into the first Grand Slam of the year with evidence, not just optimism, that her game was prepared to withstand the demands ahead. In the end, Kuyang offered a quiet statement rather than a loud proclamation. It said that Eala was learning how to win in her own way, on her own terms. And as the lights of Melbourne Park awaited, that understated confidence might prove to be her most dangerous weapon of all. ChatGPT.